Good evening, everybody. We'll step back. There we go. St Andrews behind us, as you can see. We've managed to get a little place pitch side. How long we'll be here for, though, I'm not quite sure before someone tells us we're in a place that we shouldn't be. We're slightly late because of traffic in and around Birmingham, but we have arrived here. And Paddy, you've got the team news, so deliver it to us. 2 changes for Norwich City tonight.
2 changes, Connor. Good evening, all. And they are, I'm sure you've seen it by now. Sam Byram comes in, starts at left back. Obviously, no Liam Gibbs, so that means Kenny McLean redeployed into the middle of the park. And then Aaron Ramsey, who knows all about this city, on loan from Aston Villa, they're bitter rivals. He gets the nod ahead of Onel Hernandez. So essentially 2 changes to the lineup from Saturday, and I'll read through. We've got Krul, Aaron's at right back, Hanley, Omobama Daly, or should I say Omobama Daly, Hanley on the left-hand side. Sam Byram starting his first championship game of the season at left back. I think it looks to me like the 3, McLean anchoring it, Nunes and Dowell, and then ahead of those, Sargent as the main pivot with Sonani right-hand side, and we would assume Aaron Ramsey on the left. So, must be honest, I kind of thought he'd probably go with those 2, actually, because Ramsey was so effective at the weekend. I don't think Hernandez really, but I am a little bit surprised that Sonani got another go. I thought maybe Todd might have done enough in that second half cameo to maybe get the start, but not to be. Subs, Cantwell on that bench with Hernandez alongside Gunn, Gibson, Zara, Ida makes the bench, and the GOAT, Timu Pukki. So Cantwell, Zara, Ida, Hernandez, Pukki, that's a very attack-minded bench. But in terms of the main story from that, I guess it's maybe Ramsey getting the nod to start, and obviously Sam Byram coming back in. You did the press yesterday, Connor, and there was a sort of sense from Dean Smith he'd have to get guidance from Sam Byram if he could go again. 70 minutes, obviously, first time in a long while at the weekend. Clearly the answer was in the affirmative, and I think if his body holds up, you've got no issues that he will really add some experience and some quality to that back 4. So all in all, probably what I expected. What about you, Connor?
Yeah, likewise, to be honest. I'm maybe slightly surprised that Sonani's got another start, given how anonymous he was at the Stadium of Light, particularly in the first half an hour. But that's clearly a vote of confidence in him. I'm sure Onel Hernandez will be disappointed tonight. This is obviously where he ended his season last year on loan. But yeah, let's speak about Aaron Ramsey, because that feels like the big one. He came on, made quite a big impact, certainly with the assist, but also his all-round game probably felt like a step forward. Aston Villa loanee at St Andrews. I mean, it's all set up for him. And
obviously Dean Smith as well, where everybody knows his Villa connection. So, yeah, I doubt he'll need any motivation getting a first championship start for his loan club, but the fact that it comes back in his home city against their bitter rivals, that's got to add a little bit. I'm sure his family and his friends will be desperate for him to go on and maybe put one over on the blue side of the city, and more importantly, just carry on in the same vein. It was, for me, that's the most effective we've seen him in a Norwich shirt at the weekend in that 20 minutes. As soon as he got on, or 30 minutes to be fair, as soon as he got on the ball, he wanted to commit defenders, he wanted to run, and of course, capped by that assist for Josh Sargent. So really positive signs from him, and I'd like to see him carry on in the same vein, because there's no doubt, you look at his pedigree, the fact that he's come from a Premier League club, but also that he's in and around some of the best players for his age at the England level. That there's a talent there, and hopefully Dean Smith can extract it over the course of this season. And maybe what we saw Saturday was the first instalment.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll just give you a geography of the ground. So we're kind of stood, so you may be able to see just behind us here, just behind Paddy actually. That's literally the tunnel there. You've got Norwich fans kind of in that far corner, and this is kind of the stand that we're in. We're just to the side of it, in a corner. We're getting a few choice looks, but no one's kicked us out or told us we're not going to be here yet. So that's progress. Paddy is just going to bring up the Birmingham team for us as well, and I'll read that out when we get to it. So John Ruddy does start for them. Williams, Sanderson, Trusty, Roberts, Graham, Gardner, Chang, Bakuna, Hogan, and Troy Deeney starts up front. Their subs bench: Etheridge, Campbell, James, Lecco, Hall, Bellingham, of course, brother of Jude Bellingham at Borussia Dortmund, and new signing Hannibal, who signed on loan from Manchester United yesterday for them. So an interesting challenge. They usually play a 3 at the back, Birmingham. So we'll try and work out exactly kind of what that shape is when we come off, and obviously you can find it on our relevant channels. But back to Norwich, Pad. I mean, Timu Pukki came on and had such a positive impact at Sunderland. It was probably a little bit of that dilemma again, wasn't it? What does he go with? Does he go with Pukki? Does he go with Sargent? Does he push Sargent to the right, as he did on Saturday? But the fact he stuck with Sargent is another interesting decision in itself, really.
Yes, it is. I wouldn't have been at all surprised if it had been Pookie down the middle and Josh shoved maybe to the right and Sinani coming out of the mix, which is how it finished at the weekend. And he still, as Dean Smith was quick to let us know, got his goal from that more slightly on the right-hand side position. But no, I think that's the right call. I think that's the right call because he does look very effective now and he's full of confidence. 4 goals in 3 games tells you that. And it's another little signal to Timu that, as good as his cameo was at the weekend, and Dean Smith was the first to admit that, can he really debate that Josh Sargent should be leading the line at the minute? I don't think he can. So in terms of that inter-team competition within the squad, I think that's really bubbling along nicely. And of course now Adam Eder back on the bench, he'll be desperate to get an opportunity, as he did to good effect against Bournemouth in the League Cup. So, there's a real sharp edge to that attacking main striker now, and let's just hope Josh Sargent carries on in the same vein we've seen in these last 3 games. And if he does that, I think Timu might have to bide his time a little bit longer. But if you think Smith, that's what you want. Front to back, be it Tim Krul or Angus Gunn. Through defence, less so maybe in terms of the options. Certainly in midfield now, and more to come back with Hayden and obviously Zara to integrate. And then at the top end of the pitch, decisions all over, and that can only be good for Norwich's performance levels moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It did feel like there was a balance to strike tonight in terms of momentum, but this is also, I think, I worked out their 8th game of the month, which is a pretty incredible statistic. We know the Championship is relentless, obviously even more so this season because of the World Cup that they're trying to squeeze in the winter, and obviously the Championship being put on pause for a month. 2 changes. Do you feel he struck that balance? Because there's also the element that he probably doesn't want to lose the momentum that they've got at the moment. Obviously, they arrive here tonight with 3 wins on the spin.
Yeah, and I think it's still relatively early in terms of minutes on the clock and a workload that I don't think you need to be rotating to protect bodies. I mean, there is just over the horizon an international break, and that will give an opportunity maybe to rest a few. So for me, it's still, at this stage, full steam ahead. As you said, Connor, 3 straight wins. Don't do anything too much to sort of threaten that. You want your best players on the park. You want your strongest bench you can put out there. And then if you get a 4th win, they always say, don't they, when you're winning games, you don't tend to feel the tiredness or the aching limbs. So, yeah, certainly at this early stage of the season, I think less rotation is better all round, yeah.
What are you expecting tonight?
Well, you have to be reasonably confident. I mean, what has caught my eye in that Birmingham lineup is he's gone Hogan and he's gone Deeney. So that's a very muscular, very direct looking front 2, which will be a challenge for Hanley and Obama Daly. But, overall, Birmingham are, struggling to pick up results. Got beat again at the weekend. Norwich are seemingly in that nice groove now. I think if Norwich approach it in the right manner, deal with that maybe direct threat. We all know about Deeney, very experienced. He'll use every trick in the book he can to gain an advantage. But fundamentally, as I felt at the weekend, Norwich, you would feel have too much in terms of going forward. And I just hope we don't have the first hour we had at the weekend where it was a bit harum-scarum and they're clinging on a little bit. If Norwich go and impose themselves, and as Dean Smith said, a bit better in the middle of the park with a bit more legs and that athleticism, I think McLean from the start gives them that. Alongside Nunes, I'd like to see more from Dowell in that respect tonight. He's getting another opportunity, certainly with Zara in the wings. Then you'd like to think Norwich go on and win this game. For me, I'm going to be optimistic. Whether it's the sun beaming down, I'm going to be 3-1 Norwich.
Yeah, I agree. I expect Norwich City to win here tonight. 21st in the table, Birmingham, only 1 win so far, which is coming against Huddersfield in the period where they didn't start particularly well. They haven't started particularly well. So I think Norwich City will maintain the momentum. But obviously plenty of strands to unpick for this one, and we will do that throughout the evening. You can join us pinken.com or on the Pinken Plus app, which if you haven't subscribed to yet, pinken.com, there's a tab in the top left. Click on that, follow all the instructions, and you can get access for a month's free trial. Plenty of exclusive content on there, not just written stuff, but also video and audio as well. Right, we're going to leave it there before we get chucked out from wherever we've managed to find ourselves in. Thank you very much for watching. Fingers crossed for Norwich City tonight, and we'll see you again very, very soon. I'm going to have to come forward to end it anyway, so there we go.